food, you basically don't have to worry about B12. B12 is, you need very, very small amounts in your diet to have health. Now, there's a lot of different things that are reasons why B12 is not so available in our world today. I'm going to be dealing with that on tomorrow, but I just want to let you know that if you're using yeast flakes, you don't have to worry about B12. B12 is a non-issue.
All right, thank you so much. And then, of course, we have lemon juice, fresh lemon juice, not the kind in the bottle that's concentrated or has chemicals in it. You want fresh lemons. I've found in a couple of times, and more recently I found, I think you can get it at Whole Foods, I haven't seen it anywhere else, where you can get organic, pure lemon juice in a bottle. It's pure. It has nothing in it but just pure lemon juice, and it's organic. So I really like that because it's handy. And I use lemon juice a lot, and I think Brother Cofer talked about lemons. Did you not? So we know the great amount of benefits that lemon has, and so those are the ingredients that go into the pimento cashew cheese. If you want to make the Jack style, you simply remove the pimentos, okay? And you can actually do a few things with this kind of sauce. You can add other things. There's a product called liquid amino where you can make a gravy with it, which we're gonna have on Thanksgiving taste test Wednesday night. You'll see. I'm gonna make a gravy for your cornbread dressing from scratch. It's my mother's recipe converted, so you're gonna be able to taste it Wednesday night. And then you can do it several different ways. If you wanna kick it up a notch, you can put a little cayenne pepper in it when you wanna make the nacho style. Just a little cayenne, not overdoing the cayenne, but you can do it like that.
Quick question, when
Sure.
you're talking about making this cheese, you would blend all those ingredients,
yes,
right?
Yes, you'll take all of these ingredients along with your cashews, you put it in a blender, turn it on until it's nice and creamy, and that's it. Now that's simple, isn't it?
Amen.
That's simple, you can do that. Okay, now I'm gonna quickly demonstrate the Mexican mountains. The Mexican mountains are actually like, you just stack it. All you do is stack it, like you would do a haystack. I know some of you know what a haystack is, others may not, but you simply just layer the items on the thing. Now, I don't have a knife with me right now. What I would usually do is bake your potatoes. I don't know if you're familiar with, if some of you may bake it with a little olive oil. I put a little olive oil, little salt, and a little bit of garlic. And I do want to say this too, while I'm thinking about that. I really like this a lot. I get it at Trader Joe's, and it's fresh garlic, but it's in the frozen section, but it's fresh. It's just chopped up and put in little cubes for you already, where you don't have to use if you don't want to use garlic powder, this is actually garlic itself, but just mashed and then pressed in those little cubes. So I use that, a little bit of the olive oil, a little bit of salt, and rub, clean your potatoes, don't forget to clean them, and then rub them really good, and then bake them. And then you want to take a knife, which I don't have, so I'm gonna try to smash it a little bit, and you wanna cut it open, okay? Just wanna cut it open down the middle in fours, because actually, the recipe calls for it to be cut open, but I kind of like to cut it open and then smash it down so that when you pour the nice chili beans over it, it's really nice and it kind of gets all in the grooves. And you know how it is when you take a spoonful of something, you want everything in it on that spoon, don't you? Isn't that right? Okay. So we're gonna smash this down just a little bit. Now the key to this is making really good chili beans. They have to taste really good. And a simple way to do that, I think everybody out here has had chili beans. Is that true? Let me see your hands. You've had chili beans, okay. So you can make it any way you want. I just simply, I put my garlic, my onion, my cumin. Some people say cumin, however you want to say it. And you put a little bit of garlic, onion, cumin, a little chili powder, and whatever else you want. I like to use, and some tomato sauce, if you want to use tomato sauce. I use this a lot when I make a tomatoey dish. I get this also from Trader Joe's, and it's organic, and it's very inexpensive, and it has all natural ingredients, and it's very simple. It's a tomatoey. It's supposed to be for noodles, but I use it for a lot of different things, and it makes everything just, you don't have to do a lot when you just put that in, so you can do it that way. So that's how I make the chili beans. And you can, now Brother Cofer's going to get me for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You can put you don't have to. I don't usually, when I make Mexican mountains, put any TVP or textured vegetable protein. That's what it is, dried tofu or some meat substitute. You don't have to do that. I usually don't do it when I'm making a dish like this. If you want to make chili beans with the chili, you can put a meat substitute, and we'll talk more about that. But mostly, you want to eat and make items and entrees and foods with just the natural items. This is, like Brother Cofer said, we're dealing with plant-based, no blood, and only good fat. Is that all right? Okay. So after we smash this a little, and remember, if I had a knife, it would be easier because I could have cut it open and then smashed it down. They're baked. You can do this ahead of time. You can cook your potatoes the day before and just have your beans ready, and all you have to do is layer it. Okay, I sort of use it as like a crust at the bottom of my dish. And then what I do is I take the chili beans, which I don't have a whole lot of right now, but we have more downstairs for you to taste. And then you layer that. Then you take your pimento cashew cheese, which, by the way, I learned something over the years. What's really nice about natural food items is when you freeze them, they taste almost as fresh as when you first made them. You can't do that with meat products and dairy products. It has a different flavor, if you've noticed, when you take it out of the freezer and defrost it. Have you noticed that? It's not fresh anyway. You know, it's interesting because the minute meat is killed, it's dead food. So it just begins to continue to decay, which is the opposite of the food that God has made. So I'm just pouring this over the top. You can pour as much as you want, as little as you want. And then I'm going to take these green onions here. Nice green onions. How many like green onions? Oh, isn't it good in almost everything? I just love them. I'm going to tell on my mother. My mother used to eat them just raw, like just bite off of them all the time. We used to think, oh, how did she do that? So
make sure you get a good, when you finish, tilt that up so they can get it on the camera for the DVD.
Okay. So I'm sprinkling the chopped green onions all over the top. This is so simple. I'm talking through it, so it may seem a little longer, but when you're in the kitchen by yourself and no one's bothering you, no children or anything like that, or unless they're helping you, which they should, then you want to, you can get through with this in a few minutes. And of course, some olives. And you just sprinkle that on top.
And those are black olives you can buy as well. These are black olives.
And you can put chopped tomatoes, but there's several dishes like that, so you don't have to, because this is going to go in the oven at about 350, 365. And these are corn chips. You can get crushed whole grain corn chips. These are just regular corn chips right now, and all you do is just sprinkle that on top, just like that. I know this, you probably thought, well, what is corn chips? But when you bake it and you toast the top of this, with the oven toasts the top of this, it really gives it a nice flavor. And you can put, like I said, you can put tomatoes on top if you want to, but that's it. And you just put it in the oven. You bake it for just maybe a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe not even that long. If your chili beans are already hot and your potatoes are already hot, you're just trying to gel it or make it seal. And that's the end of that dish. Now, wasn't that simple? Amen. Now, you would be shocked at how tasty that is with the pimento cashew cheese, your beans tasting really nice, and just layering that. That was just take you a few minutes. And all you need with this is a salad. This is a complete meal. And Brother Cofer would probably tell you, and I'm going to agree, you don't want to eat this kind of meal all the time because it's high protein. You've got your beans, your pimento cashew cheese with the nuts in it are full of protein. And if you have a meat substitute, that's more protein. So just remember, you can eat this because it's natural, but you don't want to overdo it on any food item.
I just want to make a comment just as we look at that. If you look at your handout where it says Dietary Plan, you're going to notice that it says a Dietary Plan that gives you a suggestion of principles of eating. We've just taken these principles and practically shown you how to do it. In other words, if you look on the section there on Dietary Plan underneath the carrot, it talks about dinner. It says breakfast and dinner. Dinner under the apple, under the carrot. Breakfast under the apple, and under the carrot you have dinner. If you look, we just did exactly what it says here. It says, number 1, cooked grain. It says brown rice, millet, corn, or baked potato. We use baked potato there, right? And then it says steamed green vegetable or fresh cooked beans or peas. We use chili beans. Amen? Are you with me? Okay. Then she said add a fresh salad to that. There's fresh salad right there. And then it talks about you could add some whole wheat bread, but we used the chips, the whole grain chips. And then at the bottom it says seeds if desired, and you have the cashew cheese, which is a seed or a nut right there. So almost everything that we talked about in principle here on your sheet, we just demonstrated in that one dish. So you see practically how these principles are brought into a recipe. Do you understand what I'm saying? You follow me? Should I repeat that? Let me repeat it one more time. Basically, here are the principles of what you need. It talks about a cooked grain, steamed green vegetable or pea, or fresh salad, and so on and so forth, and your seeds. We're talking about dinner. Now, principally, it doesn't say you have to get a handful of seeds and maybe a little brown rice, something like that. You can do that. But we're showing you how to take these principles of ordering and getting proper nutrition here and make it into a recipe you can tangibly see with these recipes. Now, do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Amen. Very good. Very good.
I just want to add one other thing before we move on to Sister Amanda. You can actually bake a potato and just put pimento cashew cheese on it. You can just do that and put a salad with. A potato is one of your most complete foods. It's got almost everything you need in it. And like Brother Cofer said, I think what I was always trying to battle with is thinking I needed so many different things on my plate, but you do not. You just need the right things on your plate. And an entree and a salad is plenty of food. We just eat too much as Americans. Isn't that right? That's right.
And if always you start out with your fresh produce first, it's always good. In other words, if you're eating a meal that you may want to start with fruit, then have a nice fruit salad first and eat well of that fruit salad. Or if you're having a salad meal or a vegetable meal, have a nice vegetable salad first, and then as you eat your cooked food with your grain and so on, the grain is going to give you that satiation that you need. But as you top it off with that, you've eaten the food with the enzymes. You know, enzymes are needed to break down your food when you're talking about digestion. Your body will create enzymes, but it puts a great, tremendous weight on your body to create enzymes for eating food that is cooked or overcooked, when if you have the fresh fruit or fresh vegetable, the enzymes inside your foods are helping digestion, so your body doesn't have to do it. By doing that, by just eating your fresh fruit or fresh salad first, you're actually slowing down the aging process. You see someone that eats their fresh salad first or their fresh vegetable salad first, whether it's fruit or vegetable, and they put all those good enzymes in their body so that it helps the digestion, their body doesn't have to work as hard to digest their food. That person after 50 years and the person that just eats their cooked food after 50 years, generally this person is going to look younger. Why? Their body has not been fighting and taxing to create enzymes. They've been getting it from their foods. Very, very simple. That's why, I am old as I am, and I still look about 18, don't I? Right here. Now we have Sister Amanda who will demonstrate hers.
Okay, the next dish that I'm going to be making is called Penne vegetable medley, and it is a pasta base. We got most of the ingredients from Trader Joe's. What we bought here was organic penne noodles, and so what you want to do with your bag of noodles, you just want to simply boil it in a little bit of salt water with a little bit of oil. Once that is done, just put your noodles into a pan. I add a little bit of salt, a little more olive oil to it, just to give it a little bit of flavor. And as Sister Lewis did, we're making dishes with the cheese base. And this one is a white cheese, white jack cheese. And so all you do again is you just simply, to make the jack cheese, just remove the pimentos and simply add what is called usually people have in their houses to make soups or make it a base. They have a beef stock or a chicken stock or a fish stock. Well, there's a stock called McKay's Chicken Style. It tastes like a chicken stock, but it's not actually made with any kind of animal products. You want to get the one without MSG in it. There's two brands, and one with MSG and one with not. So instead of, you take out the pimento cheese, and then you want to add McKay's Chicken Style seasoning to it. And so what we did, we just blended that up, and we have 2 vegetables we're going to put in. We're going to put in some broccoli florets. Got them at Trader Joe's. Just organic broccoli florets. You can use fresh, or you can just, if you're running out of time, just buy these and defrost them. So we're going to add some broccoli florets to our noodles. And the next vegetable is artichokes. A lot of people don't usually eat these, but once again, Trader Joe's has everything just in a can. Artichoke hearts, what you're going to do, you're just going to mash it up or chop it up with a knife and add that to your penne. We add it. And then once you get to the vegetables, we're just going to mix it up. Mix your vegetables in there. We add a little bit of Veggie Sal.
And what is Veggie Sal?
Veggie Sal is, it's like salt, but it's made with vegetables.
Dry vegetables.
Mm-hmm. It just says all-purpose vegetable seasoned salt. It's like Lori's. Everybody's heard of Lori's seasoned salt. It's called Veggie Sal.
Oh, can I add something to that too? What I want to tell you that I live by this. I don't even use salt to cook with unless the recipe actually calls for salt. Like you need about a teaspoon of salt in your pimento cashew cheese in your one batch. But other than that, it has helped me not to even want butter in some of my vegetables if I just put a little of that. So it's got a really nice flavor to it. It's got a nice blend, and it's more herbs and spices with a little bit of sea salt. It's not going to have the salt that just plain salt has.
Yeah, when you look at this product, and we don't have any stock in any of these companies, by the way. We're just trying to suggest things that we've used and we find that are pretty good. When you talk about this seasoned salt, the reason why it's a good substitute is because it has not only a lot of different herbs like parsley and different things that are palatable to the taste buds, but also has kelp and certain sea plants that have a salty taste already to them. And kelp is very, very high in nutrients. You're going to find that when you look at the knowledge, the philosophy of creation, we know that when God created the earth, that Eden and all the earth had tremendous soil. Soil was very, very rich. And even the soil that we know that was existing at that time, when the flood came, it was all washed away. Now, there are many people that believe that a lot of the reasons why sea plants are so rich in nutrients is because a lot of that Edenic soil, a lot of that very vital soil is at the ocean bottom. So when we talk about the nutrients that is in kelp and dulse and all these various sea plants, which is found inside here, whoops, sorry, wrong one, inside here, that's why it has such a nutritive quality as well as a very good taste to it. Go ahead.
So we just want to add some Veggie Sal. Just sprinkle it on. And there's another ingredient you may have never seen before. You just may have passed it by. It is a soy cheese. It is called tofu rella. You can usually find it at Trader Joe's.
Hold it still so the camera can get it.
Health food store.
Okay.
But
Health food store.
I want to say something also about that. Usually when we use these types of things, we only use it, well, I only use it for a little bit of texture depending on what I'm making. But I found that this is the best tasting cheese substitute that there is. They've got so many different soy cheeses on the market, but this actually has the best flavor. So if I use it, I sort of use it for a texture more than just for the flavor.
Okay. We're going to add this cheese to it. And you can see it comes in two colors. You have the cheddar and the jack. We mix them together, but usually for this dish, you can just use the jack flavor again. You want to mix that in there. And then we're going to add our cheese sauce. Simple as that. Just mix it together till it all gets combined. And then one last thing you're going to add. Also, this one I don't think you can find at Trader Joe's, but it's actually a vegan Parmesan cheese. Tastes like it, even has the aroma of the Parmesan cheese. So you want to add a little bit of this to the top and just mix it in. You mix a little bit of it in and then add some to the top. And with this dish, you really don't have to bake it too long. You really just wanted to heat it up. And it's almost like a fettuccine. Comes out like a fettuccine. If you ever want just a noodle base without traditional spaghetti, we have a white sauce here. Just sprinkle the rest of the Parmesan on top. Put it in the oven for about 15, 20 minutes at 350. And we have our vegetable medley, our penne vegetable medley. And it's just simple as that.
Then hold it. I'm getting hungry. I'm not sure about you. Didn't really eat much today. Now, again, the recipes for a lot of these dishes that we're showing tonight, we're going to give you on Wednesday night. So if you're maybe missing something, don't worry about it. We're going to have that for you on Wednesday night, as well as some other information. So please, try to pay attention and kind of look at what they're saying, some of the little hints and tips, but we're going to have those recipes for you on Wednesday night. We're going to move on to Sister Diston now. You ready? Okay.
Okay, what I'm going to share with you this evening is a cream of broccoli soup. It's a non-dairy broccoli soup, cream of broccoli soup, and it's very easy to make. I'm also using cashews, but I'm not using a cheese. We're using cashew milk. This is milk made from cashews, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. This is a very easy soup to make. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to saute your onions. Now, normally you would use oil to saute your onions, but you can actually just use water to saute your onions. So what you would do is you would put your onions in your pot, and then you're going to add a little bit of water to this, and then you're just going to cook it on low until your onions are transparent, okay? Once that is done, you're going to add 6 cups of water to this. Now, let me see if I could pour this in without making... Oh, praise God. Okay, you're going to pour your water in. We'll put it there, because I'm going to use that in a minute. And then you're going to add all of your seasonings to this. Okay, so you're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of salt. You're going to add 1 tablespoon of dried parsley flakes.
And you also get exercise by opening up these covers as well.
Amen. You're going to add 1/3 cup of your McKay's chicken seasoning, okay?
And if you are not able to immediately find McKay's chicken seasoning, you can easily find yeast flakes, and basically you can just jazz up some yeast flakes with some different seasoning, and it has pretty much the same kind of consistency. Am I right? Mm-hmm. See, these are the experts. I need to check with them. But basically, yeast flakes and some different seasoning like garlic and onion and different things that you like.
Okay, next we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and 1 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay, you're going to mix that up, bring it to a boil. Once that's boiling, and actually while this is starting to boil, you're going to make your cashew milk. And what you do is you're going to take a cup of raw cashews. You're going to you know what? You need to wash your cashews. I don't think we said that before. But cashews aren't packed too clean, so you need to rinse them off thoroughly before you actually use them. So you're going to wash 1 cup of cashew, put 2 cups of water with that, and you're just going to blend that until it becomes the consistency of milk. Now, I'm going to pour this out into this bowl because I just want you to see how creamy this is.
Why don't we do this?
Make cashew milk and drink it, or put it on your cereal, and it's very good. So, while she's...
Okay. Now, raw cashews it's a soft nut, so when you blend it, it blends really smooth. So I'm just going to pour this out so you can actually see how doesn't that look milky? Yeah, very smooth. Okay, and then you've got a
little bit of sediment at the bottom.
On the bottom, okay? And that's going to substitute for your milk, okay? And actually, you can use that for substituting in gravies or any other kind of creamy soup recipe. All right, so once this is boiled, you're going to add your 1 cup, actually 2 cups of diced potatoes. Keep the skins because
they have nutrients in them.
Actually, my husband suffers from bursitis. Oftentimes, he gets flare-ups in his hip from bursitis, and Elder Cofer shared with him that if he takes the skin of the potato and he soaks it in water, boils it, and then drains it off, and you drink that, it actually helps to reduce inflammation in your joints. So, just a tip. Okay, so you're going to take your 2 cups of, I'm not going to put it in here because I want to use this, but you're going to put 2 cups of potatoes in here. You're going to put 1 cup of celery, and then you're going to put 2/3 cups of shredded carrots, okay? Once your potatoes are tender, then you're going to add your cashew milk to this, okay? And then you're going to cover it, let it simmer for about a half an hour. Add your chopped broccoli. Where's my chopped broccoli? Okay, right here. You're going to add your chopped broccoli, and once that's cooked, then you're all done. You have cream of broccoli soup. Now you can also actually eliminate the broccoli and just have cream of potato soup, or you can substitute the broccoli with cauliflower and have cream of cauliflower soup. All of them are very delicious.
Amen. Do you know that when I think about what has been presented tonight, there are so many people that wish that they could understand some of the simple things. Like some people say, some people are out there and they're watching Dateline NBC, they're watching 2020, 60 Minutes, and they're seeing all these frightening programs about meat recalls and disease in animals and mad cow and so on and so forth. And they're being convicted that they need to move away from animal foods, but they do not know the first step. And when you are afraid and when you're confused, guess what you usually do?